Missouri, Mr. Luetkemeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate the opportunity to discuss this issue today. Before I get started, I would like to echo the comments and sentiments of the ranking member with regards to the subpoena of documents to be able to further investigate and hold accountable those entities that he was discussing a while ago, and would hope that you would certainly respond to his request. With regards to the gentleman before us, as a former bank regulator, I can assure you that when we look at the investment portfolio of the financial institutions, your ratings are extremely important in our analysis of their financial structure and the liabilities that they have on the books and the assets they have on the books. And so for us to have this hearing today with regards to the viability of your ratings is extremely disconcerting to me from the standpoint of what's happened and how important they are not only to the banks but other investment firms and the general public as a whole. I guess my question to Mr. Kolchinsky is initially, and Mr. McCluskey as well, is why do you believe that this happened? What is the incentive for the ratings agencies to not do their job correctly or to stray from the practice of doing the job they should be doing?
Sir, in my view, it's slightly the opposite. There's no incentive for them not to. There's no incentive, and to me that's the benchmark for the whole industry. There's no incentive to say no to a transaction.
Then why did they do it?
For revenue. The rating agencies are large institutions with large fixed costs, and people get in a transaction in the door. It's very difficult to say no to that transaction, especially if that means you can take that revenue. You say no to it, you can take it to another rating agency. There's now 11 rating agencies. You can take it to another one, somebody who will say yes.
So what you're saying is Congressman Kanjorski's comment to the question of the agencies being paid by the very people who they are rating these securities for is an inherent problem, and that is probably the reason for some of the problems we have here. Is that what you're saying?
That's right, sir. But the problem is that the person can also select which rating agency they go to. Okay. And they're free to go one or another until they find one that will help them out. And again, okay. These are
so there's really, I guess the question, it begs the question, how rampant do you believe the inadequacies or their willingness to look the other way or their willingness to do an inadequate job in lieu of our far further profitable gain is there? I mean, is that the general method of operating, or are there some inherent? Are they're normally trying to do a good job, or they just see a big client, we've got to skew it so we can make a few bucks here?
Sir, I don't believe it's direct. I believe what happens is that you have a client, you have a business, and people talk themselves into being able to think that they can understand a deal, can understand a structure, and be comfortable with it. I do not believe in most cases that any of this is a direct willingness to do something wrong. In most cases, it's getting comfortable with something that may be outside of the envelope, and there's usually small little steps all the way down. It's a slippery slope.
Okay, Mr. McCluskey.
Sir, it would be speculation on my part to guess why organizations are following particular paths, but I will make 3 points. First, I would just observe that, especially earlier on in my time at Moody's, I will simply say that the senior management of the structured finance group was very proud of the amount of revenues they brought in, quite vocally. And that's all I'll say on that matter. Also, I would say with respect to incentives, organizations don't make decisions, people do. And I think we need to take a look at the incentives that fall on the individuals. And Mr. Cantor will point out, and rightly so, that ratings are arrived at by committees, but committees are led. Committees are made up of individuals. And I think that you would actually have to look not just at, for instance, the compensation practices, but you should also take a look at things like the performance evaluations. What are the criteria on which key people are being evaluated? Yes, sir.
Okay. Very quickly, my time's running out here. I got one more quick question for you. Because it seems to be a prevalent problem with all the rating agencies, is there collusion between the agencies? Have you seen that, or are you aware of that, or would you speculate on that?
I am not aware of any, and I would actually say that there were a lot of efforts to make sure that there wasn't even the appearance of collusion.
Okay.
Would the gentleman yield?
I
Yes.
agree with that. Sorry.